So presumably you're not one of these vegans that is like, yay, McDonald's has put out a vegan. What would you say to those kind of vegans that are like, yay, yeah, more vegan food in, whatever supermarket?
I mean, obviously, it's kind of better for McDonald's to sell vegan burgers than not sell vegan burgers, slightly. If some of the people that used to go in there and eat the meat burger then eat the vegan burger and said, yeah, that's less money going into animal agriculture. Yeah, I do prefer that they're selling vegan burgers. I do prefer that Greggs is selling vegan sausage rolls. I do prefer that Sainsbury's has got a whole section of vegan food where they didn't used to have. Yes, of course, I prefer that. But veganism is about not something being slightly better than what it is already, but about like a total transformation of the world so that we achieve animal liberation. What I'd say to people is that veganism is about constantly trying to live more ethically. And people talk about my vegan journey, and normally that's kind of, they use that in a sense of like, oh, I'm discovering what vegan products there are and I'm kind of learning to live as a vegan, and that's my vegan journey. I think that because veganism is a philosophy, a person becomes vegan once they accept that philosophy. Veganism is a philosophy of opposition to the oppression of other animals. If someone says, right, I accept that philosophy, I agree with that, and I'm going to try and live according to that philosophy as best I can. At the very moment that person says that to themselves, they become a vegan because it's a philosophy, right? And the rest of it is trying to live according to that philosophy, right? And living according to that philosophy can be a learning process. We're constantly learning about ways in which animals are oppressed. And when we learn that, we say, right, I'm going to do something about that. I'm going to try and avoid being part of that. If someone says, right, I'm still going to go into McDonald's, but I'm going to buy the vegan burger instead of the meat burger, they're kind of right at the beginning of that journey within veganism. Because then what you need to say to them is look, you're going in McDonald's, all right, so you're buying the vegan burger, but you're still supporting a really awful company that oppresses animals, that oppresses the workers, that is horrendous for the environment. And so really, wouldn't it be more ethical? Wouldn't it be kind of more in accordance with the vegan ethic to not go to McDonald's, but to go to the vegan cafe instead and support them? Isn't that more kind of more vegan? But it's kind of more in accordance with the vegan ethic to support the vegan cafe. It's just that it's more in accordance with the vegan ethic to try to avoid stuff in plastic. You try to avoid single-use plastic because, of course, we know that a load of that ends up in the ocean, and there's millions of marine animals of different sorts are killed by plastic. So, like, that's another thing. All right, once we learn about it, once we learn that a certain thing is harming animals, we think, okay, well, look, as a vegan and in accordance with my vegan ethics, I'm going to try and avoid that. I'm going to try and not be part of that. And we can't be perfect. We don't live within a perfect system, but we can do our best. And veganism is about doing our best, doing the best we reasonably can, isn't it? It's not an absolutist definition. And that's what I'd say to them. I'd say, look, if you really want to kind of end the oppression of animals, you want to do your best to do that, then, going in McDonald's buying a vegan burger is not really the best choice. The best choice is going to the vegan cafe. It's the same with supermarkets. It's very, very hard to avoid supermarkets, but if we can kind of, get those things from a more ethical retailer, or get products that are kind of more ethical, that maybe aren't packaged in plastic or whatever, then we should be trying our reasonable best to do that. We maybe won't always succeed in doing that, but we kind of need to try to do that. And that is part of the vegan ethic. It's not like that it's totally bad that McDonald's have got a vegan burger. I think that we can do better than that. We can, as kind of consumers, as people that are going out to eat in places, we can do better than going in McDonald's, I think. And I certainly wouldn't go in McDonald's no matter how many vegan burgers they had. And another thing with McDonald's, of course, their history, isn't it? They got a history of, they've been involved in infiltration of the animal rights movement. They've been involved in, there was a big court case where they sued animal rights activists. They're no friend. They're no friends to our movement. Yeah, the reason they got a vegan burger is because they want to make some money out of vegans.
Well, it's capitalism, isn't it?
It's capitalism. Yeah, they're not. It's not unethical. It's not for ethical reasons.